Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command, World War II, World at War with our Allied playthrough. In the last episode, we had just finished up covering pretty much everything we were going to do with the UK. Looking at this, I've also just decided I'm going to move this Canadian destroyer closer towards the enemy submarine. We've been seeing some activity from raiding the Canadian convoys. We have covered the rest of this, as well as a lot of my plans and things I've been thinking about with the UK, although with Barbarossa on its way, the UK is no longer going to be the main competitor, the main player in the war for a bit. You know, we're going to be pouring all that money into the USSR. We'll get to them in a minute. India, we're not going to do anything with their current MPPs. Well, that's a lie. We have something to do. But I'll get to them in a moment. We'll go ahead to research. America has some research we can do, and I've been looking about the MPP gain we have, stuck at 38%, and how else we're going to be able to spend this coming up. I've decided I'm going to put a little bit of research into advanced subs, since we still have some more space to be researching things. We now have 107. It's not a lot, can't buy a lot with that. We're just going to sit on that for the time being. As for what we are going to actually do with India, it revolves around the Gurkha Special Forces. We need to give them infantry weapons before they head out. So we're going to go ahead and give them infantry weapons. That doesn't cost very much at all. And we're just going to sit on the rest of the points there. USSR, it's kind of the same idea here. We have points. Research be damned. We need to spend it on infantry weapons because the German offensive it's April right now. It's like 2 months away. So 3 turns tops until I expect the Germans to attack. Although it's April and the Germans are only just now at war with Yugoslavia. April's supposed to be when Yugoslavia is dead. The event seems to have fired late, so that might be a good thing. Greece is also supposed to be dead in April. This may be calculated by the devs, but it may not be. Right now, the Greeks do have a morale bonus so long as I keep this Desert Air Force fighter here, so hopefully they can hold in there. The Soviets are going to need whatever support they can get, given that Rommel did, in fact, not go to Libya, meaning he will be here fighting in Barbarossa, and that will not be good. This could be one of his tanks for all I know. The 5th Panzer tanks. Look how upgraded they are. Look at the fucking upgrades on these. What is this? Advanced Tanks 2. It's probably one of the forced researches that the AI gets. Oh my god, that's going to hurt like crazy. This is another reason we need whatever infantry weapons we can, especially down here in the south. So let's go ahead and start filling up the line on the river with infantry weapons. Shame that we don't have anti-air, because we're going to need that too. Hell, even this garrison's going to need it. Without it, this garrison's just going to insta-die. Sevastopol's, oh my god, 8 entrenchment. That's funny. Let's focus the line first. It's going to be so expensive, but this is what we're going to have to do. If we really want to be ready, this Special Forces doesn't need it as much as things actually on the line. We can't, oh, wait, can we? Oh, we can get an upgrade to the Vladivostok Corps now. Supply was not allowing me to do that before. Well, it's still not allowing me to do elite reinforcements, but I guess it's high enough to get upgrades in. All right, where else are we going to need? Anywhere that stands out on the front primarily, and I think we're already out of points. Yep, we've already chewed through all the MPPs the Soviets have, and they're up to 33% mobilization. What were they at last turn? It was like 28%, so that shit's going up. That shit is going up. And it can't go up fast enough, quite frankly. We're still fortifying over here, but that's the Soviets done, that's India done, that's America done. France, miners can't do anything, so that's a shame. Which means we're on to China already, just like that. So, first and foremost, 2nd Heavy Artillery. Open fire on the enemy 1st Corps of Japanese. That has gotten rid of their entrenchments, but they're still here. They're still capable of fighting. We're going to go ahead and attack. We've dealt 2 damage. We've taken what looks like 2 damage, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this corps back here with infantry weapons, because that's the best chance it has to actually do more damage, more than actually reinforcing would do. And then, God, April, May, June. The annexation of Indochina must be on our fucking doorstep. I'm still so stressing out about that, but hopefully this encirclement will help make up for that. Ooh, I hear a lot of rain hitting my ceiling. Hopefully this recording doesn't just break and die. That would be nice. They've pretty much made it so I could just completely cut them off here. I don't know what they have at Nanjing, though, so we're going to have to be careful about that. We can fully reinforce the Dare to Die Special Forces, and my god, do they need it. Why were they down to 5? I don't remember them taking that much damage, but you know what? Here we are. On the north, I have a lot of armies that need time to recover, get their units back up to max, and some of them still need upgrades like this one. I'm going to prioritize the upgrades over reinforcements because they do more, but some of these have done a lot of fighting to allow us to take Suchao and push so heavily against the Japanese, which means any offensive here is going to be carried out by corps because the armies are just frankly not in range. This one's not even really in supply to do anything. Now, what is the supply right here looking like? Very high in comparison. Very, very high. I guess we don't really have much of a choice, do we? Yeah, we just kind of have to move it here if we want to move it anywhere or get it doing anything for the time being. We can move it up north because this army might not be needed for all this cleanup. It's going to need some reinforcement. I'm not too sure about it. I might come back to that later. However, this corps here, interesting. This enemy doesn't have a zone of control here. Wonder why that is. We're gonna move cautiously, first and foremost. Maybe we just couldn't see the zone of control. No, it's... Nanjing has nothing at it. Oh my god. There's nothing on Nanjing. This is like a little puppet that they've come and just like made. And we can go step on that right now. So, we're gonna do that. We're going to go run all the way down to Nanjing. We're going to take that shit. And this little puppet will fall apart. That is the... like the OG capital. We just stepped on it. We just retook the OG capital. Holy fuck. That is amazing. Let's go ahead and... Suchao. They can't really get to that with the river there and all the zones of control. We're going to run the second corps down as well. Kind of getting around the... what's this? The Yangtze River here. Shanghai is completely surrounded on all sides. This is absolutely beautiful. I can get infantry weapons on the third corps. I will go ahead and do that because it needs something. And this would be pretty handy for the push. Looks like we can even get it on the first corps here. Well, I've already completely cut off Shanghai here. That's for sure. I don't need to focus on taking it because they're not going to escape with anything they have here. Let's get infantry weapons on the first corps. We have 121 MPPs. Got to keep our eye on that. Let's see here. This unit is fully upgraded. Everything it can have. This one can have a additional elite reinforcement. We're going to go ahead and get that because that could be handy for dealing with these darn Japs making our lives so difficult. As for the one over here... we can use this offensively. What's the supply look like? Very terrible across this river. We don't have anything really moving supplies down here. We got to get this HQ on the move is what we have to do. Yeah. I'm going to move it down into the city here so it can hopefully project its supply a little bit better. Getting it down to Suchao would be fantastic for helping push the line over here. We do want to play offensive, so let's go ahead and take this corps, march down out of Hangzhou, and attack this enemy HQ here, across the river, I believe. We dealt 2 damage, we took none. That's even better than the game promised us we would do. Meanwhile, we also have these tanks, these light tanks, we're going to go ahead and reinforce while we prepare for whatever the hell is going to happen here. The engineers have finished digging in, so it makes me wonder what I should do with them next. I feel like it's a waste to not have them fortifying something. Perhaps they can swap places with this unit in a way. You know, the enemies have been very quiet up by Peking. They haven't been resupplying. I don't even know if they can. The supply over here is so low for them now. We have actually max heavy artillery shots in this artillery as of this turn because they just haven't done anything. So you know what? Let's go ahead and be a little aggressive here. Why don't we? 1, 2 artillery shots. That ruins the entrenchment of the defending forces here. I'm tempted to shoot the third too, but we might need it for defensive purposes. We can definitely do some damage here. We could maybe even like push up and like really make them afraid over here. I don't think they're in a very good position. Mostly their defenses are what have them in any good position over here at all. But I'm definitely tempted. I just broke their entrenchment, that's for sure. So, let's go ahead and say fuck it. Let's go and attack this army, even though it is still superior to our units. We've dealt 2 damage. We've taken 1 damage, and we've actually chased them off the spot. Did not expect that. That allows me to upgrade the infantry weapons of this corps here, which will really help in pushing any kind of offensive over here. We still have 1 shell remaining. They might come back. They probably will come back. Taking Peking is pretty important. I'm going to go ahead and take this corps off of this spot here. We're just going to move it just northwest into a field. We'll move these engineers back just so we can have them fortifying. It doesn't really matter that much, but fortifications facing, this is surrounded by fields. This is an important spot. It's not that important, but it is an important spot. Up, right, would be good enough if we actually do end up needing to hold this for any reason. Two-sided, facing like that, looks good to me. Just to have him doing something, really. We'll move this core back into the fortifications that we just set up. There's already 2 entrenchment there, which is good. We don't need to keep the L core over here any longer. He's completely replenished himself, so we're going to go ahead and actually just move him off of there. Supply here is actually pretty good. It's a secondary supply location. A lot of these places could definitely do with garrisons eventually, but for right now I need to keep units wherever I can keep them to maintain my steam of my offensive. The 5th Corps here is going to move up with the main group heading towards Shanghai and behind the enemies here. The amount of damage we're gearing up to be able to do here is immense. I'm trying to keep them distracted and just staring down at Chengchao and around Wuhan and Changsha. Oh my god, these names. As best I can, because again, this is like, what, 2,000 MPPs worth of units here? It won't be that, no, it still might be that, when they actually have to piece it back together, you know, 300... 600, 900, I'm going to assume at least 400 right here, so that's 1,300, you know, maybe 1,600. Yeah, we're getting up to about what's remaining, and especially including what we killed, 2k or more MPPs just to piece it all back together, which is going to take time. It's going to very much distract from any non-committed research and other things that the Japanese are doing. The Japanese are really going to have to pick here, you know? They're going to have to pick. Do we send more units, not to Shanghai anymore, really, but into Korea to defend that and Manchuria? If they don't, they lose all the MPPs from the convoy here and etc. Or do we gear up to get ready to take the DEI and commit Pearl Harbor? By the lack of enemy navy here, I'm guessing they're really going to be preparing for Pearl Harbor, at least navally. I don't know about their land units. They may have scripts that are going to force them to prioritize doing Pearl Harbor, but if they do that, they're losing the entire mainland at this rate. I think there's not even a doubt in my mind that that's what's going to happen here. We are still sitting on, looks like 73 MPPs is China. We're going to go ahead and take that and put that as another diplomatic chit into Communist China. See if we can eventually get them to join us. Might as well put those diplomatic chits to work. We'll go ahead and save the game here just in case. I do this sometimes, I don't always do this. We're going to go ahead and hit end turn. I really don't need to do this because it's just auto saves anyway. But yeah, I do believe that's everything we're going to do. Yep. Alright. End turn. Fingers crossed. Hope for the best. Chinese morale boosted by liberation of Nanjing. Hell yeah. Look at the Japanese morale. It's definitely going down. Our Chinese one should definitely be going up. Yugoslavia joining the Allies causes anger in the German High Command. Japanese morale suffers loss of Nanjing. Nanjing surrenders. Hell yeah. China plunders 13 MPP. That's not a lot, but it's something. It's something. That we wouldn't otherwise have. Still harming the supply over here at Bordeaux. Finland moves 6% towards the Allies. Good. We need them. We need them, and time is running out. Supplies at Brest are improving, as I can see. Axis Raiders still disrupting our convoys. Hopefully that is truthful, and we did just develop ASW, and apparently, hopefully the Americans did just develop infantry weapons. That would be nice. Logistics for the USSR. India may be getting infantry warfare. We're losing like 20 MPPs a turn right now every time they raid the convoy to Canada, which is unfortunate. Everything here is looking pretty good to me, though. Now let's see how they try to ruin my day. Alright. They're marching into Yugoslavia. Again, I don't expect the Yugoslavs to survive, but of course Italy reinforcing down here. The submarine moving back out into the ocean. It can't resupply there, so I'm unsurprised. The Italians are operating away! Why? They're reinforcing here at Haikou. Urgh, that's so annoying. That's so annoying. It should be losing XP by doing that, hopefully. Ooh, Japanese naval ships showing back up near Amoy. Wonder what it's doing here. It's very well upgraded. I have no naval units that are this well upgraded anyway. German planes are bombing the Yugoslavs. Is that what they're called? The Yugoslavs? Italian planes are bombing. Okay. More German planes bombing. That one's gonna hurt a little bit. That's for sure. Germans going on an infantry offensive in the northwest by Zagreb. Italian tanks trying to break. Ooh, getting around. Yeah, getting around our emplacements here. That's not good. But the entrenchment should still help. I hope. Germans pushing up still. They're right next to the HQ, and that's concerning. I really probably should have moved something over there. I didn't really think that they would be able to get over there, quite frankly. I didn't really think about that. But the HQ should be pretty entrenched as well, at the very least. I have to keep that in mind for next time I play allies, how important that spot can be. That was just an oversight on my part. Some Japanese planes moving up over here, maybe the ones we chased out from the south. It's a sign that they might be sending more stuff over there. Blockading the port still. Yeah, there's no supply over at Bordeaux. Spain still moving towards the Axis. That's not good. Deputy Rudolph has flies to the UK to negotiate peace terms. Oh, that's funny. Joe DiMaggio begins his hitting streak in US baseball. Okay. What? Sure. I don't know how that relates to the war. But good job, man. Good job. Okay. Whoa. Destroyer spotted in Kiel. Okay. Battleship spotted near Yokohama. Okay. Intelligence garrison in Syracuse. Did you guys see that? Where was that? Yugoslavia. These dumb fucks pushed so far into Yugoslavia that they're surrounded and have no supply. Holy crap. I think they're trying to reach the HQ. I think they're trying to bum rush our HQs. This HQ is entrenched, but this tank here is going to be a problem. This tank, I might need to swap the army across the Metaxas line here just to really, really hurt that tank because... Actually, their supply here is terrible. Oh my god, these tanks have no supply. They've pushed out this far, but that means they lost their supply line from the rear. Oh my god. That is awesome. I can't even begin to express to you how awesome that is. Okay, we have actually amazing. This is amazing. It's May 23rd. Yugoslavia is under attack, but not remotely on the verge of falling. And even though we had a bad situation here with Italy, their situation here is so bad. They fucked up so much to do what they did here. They're out of supply. If they stay here, they're just gonna like lose points. I don't even know if they can get out of here. If we keep a strong enough force up here, I don't even think they can get out. Forget about attacking the HQ. They're sitting ducks. Oh, leading to Barbarossa, we can definitely see a lot of passive gain on the USSR mobilization. It went up from 33% to 37%. Now we may be maybe 2 turns away from when the AI starts Barbarossa. So, you know, we're going to need every little bit of it. I'm under no delusions, however. This will not be easy. No matter what advantages we're having over the AI anywhere else, even in Europe, the AI scripting is making it prepare heavily for Barbarossa. Even with all the units that will spawn in, there's a reason I made this line. Because I don't expect the front to hold. This is going to hurt, but hopefully with everything that's going well for us, it's not going to hurt as much as it could. And hopefully with the UK pouring points in, we can see a nice red wave pouring westwards. I could also just use that for the UK, but the UK won't be in danger. The USSR will. The USSR's purchase limits, let's compare UK ground. Oh, UK can actually rebuy the BEF and the core for cheap. I didn't even think to look at that. Well, that's good that they can get it back for cheap. But if we compare like 10 more cores, 7 more armies, and that's with almost nothing deployed, only 1 mechanized. We have 1 tank deployed, we can only get 2 more. We can't even get heavy tanks for them till later. USSR, however, can't afford any of it right now, but way more infantry power. Way more tank power. It's quite impressive. And that stuff's going to come real in handy. So I will definitely be pouring points into them once that time comes. However, we need to figure out what to do on all these fronts. My attention right now is glued in Europe. We have so much interesting things happening here. Now, the Yugoslavs, or whatever the hell we should be calling them, their main priority right now is going to be defense. However, they have this interesting wedge that's going to stop me from getting a lot of infantry weapons actually poured in here, and some supply issues I see right here. The entrenchment's pretty much been lost here. The supply here is really bad. We're probably going to want to retreat from this river. It's not going to be easily held, and this is a very upgraded unit. The last thing we want it doing is dying for no fucking reason. Unfortunately, the proximity to enemy units means that we can't upgrade like almost any of these infantry weapons, and one that we can, for example, could be way better helped probably by just reinforcing, because infantry weapon, well, we can also get anti-air defense. That could really help. Defense values would go up. I don't know. I think this would be risky. I think this would be really risky. Anti-aircraft. It's a tough call. But I think I'll go ahead and give this one the upgrades. This Bitoliska Corps. That might help it survive. At the very least, if the Italians pour through here instead of garrisoning, hopefully it won't be too bad. What the Germans did here is so weird to me. And we know that Italians have just, like, operated out. I wonder if they're getting in position for Barbarossa. I wwonder if that takes priority. I wonder if they just thought they couldn't do anything here. But, yeah, that's really interesting. We're going to move this corps back. It cannot hold this line. We want it back where it can maybe do some more, well, actually, this is just a fucking field. This is not the greatest place to entrench. However, the supply here is going to be great, and it's going to protect the HQ from anyone approaching. We're going to take the Belgrade Corps here, and we're going to attack this enemy that's gotten behind our supply lines. Dealt 1 or 2 damage. Oh, that was 2. It was at 9. Taken 1. I'm tempted to attack as well with this one. However, there's a potential that we take damage, and with German tanks at Budapest, I'm not so sure how I feel about that. That could potentially go poorly, but if this can get any remotely successful attack off on the HQ here, that would not be good. That would be even more detrimental. So, alright, so let's go ahead and attack it, because it's not entrenched or anything. Let's go ahead and attack. We've dealt, I believe, 1 damage. We took 1 damage, yeah, so unfortunately we did take damage. That is unfortunate. Our readiness and morale is a little bit compromised, you could say, because of that. But we're still here. This force is going to take attrition. I'm not too worried about it. And it shouldn't be able to hurt the HQ nearly as much as it otherwise would be able to. I wonder if they're going to try to encircle the Dravska Corps here. It's sitting on a town. It's pumping out 5 supply. So it wouldn't be like game over or anything if it did that. Again, Yugoslavia, I don't expect to live one way or another, but Greece really has my attention here. Greece really, really has my attention here. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take the Epirus army. We're going to shoot across this river again at these enemy Italians that are just being dumb, in my opinion. We dealt 1 damage. We took none. Not as good as promised, but it's something. Now we'll go ahead. We'll take the Athens Corps here. We're going to go ahead and attack that same enemy Italian corps. We've dealt 2 damage. Very good. Better than promised. But we took 1 damage. That's more damage than we were supposed to take. We're going to go ahead and upgrade the 3rd Greek Corps here. Okay, I have to think about this. Mobility could actually be really handy in Greece now, because I'm realizing Greece is going to live in ahistoric... Like, we're already ahistorically past where Greece is supposed to die. With Barbarossa about to start, the Germans are not going to be able to focus here, and potentially even over here. Look, I mean, look, Brest is still up. The supplies are getting better. The entrenchment's there. 3 more turns and we can sail some Brist there, even if it's just a small amount. We could pull up to Nantes, take St. Nazare, like, just hold a small front. Oh my god, the potential. The potential. Get an HQ down to Brest. The potential is just skyrocketing. Let's see. So what should we do? I think I'll give these Greeks some mobility. I think it could actually really come in handy. We're going to give them both, because the situation the Italians and Germans are putting us in are actually just very, very beneficial to us. Very beneficial. And there's also this down here we have to worry about. But we need to do some fighting here, because these units have put themselves in a terrible position. So we're going to take the 2nd Corps. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to attack the enemy 1st Corps here. We did 3 damage, better than the promised 2. Very, very happy about that. As much as I'd love to send the 1st Corps over here to double down on these enemies and really make them feel pain for driving into this location like they did, I'm looking at all the maneuvers I'd have to do to really make that work, and I just... Unfortunately, with what's currently available, I don't think it would be worth it. Now, if the 3rd Corps was ready to go, I think it would be worth it. But because it's not, I don't think so. So we're just going to swap the Macedonian army to this part of the Metaxas line. That leaves us with 2 entrenchment there. 3 entrenchment for this corps, which might get a chance to upgrade itself if we don't suffer attack from there. We're going to focus on this infantry because we can do the most damage to this infantry from our emplacements. So we're going to go ahead and attack. We dealt 3 damage. We took none. Our readiness morale over here is not the greatest after doing that swap. But again, look at them. They may be able to get their way out of here, but with an army here, I'm hoping the zone of control is just so good that they won't be able to get out. If they get stuck here, then we have our time to attrit away at them. And because that's how this is going, that means we'll also take the first corps here. Rather than reinforcing, we're just going to go on the offensive again. We've dealt 2 damage, better than the promised 1. Taken no damage. Absolutely beautiful. I'd love to go around here. I don't want to lure out any more of the Italian corps, and we need opportunities to reinforce in the future. Under the realization that these Desert Air Force fighters are just simply not going to be needed in Libya with no Rommel here, I'm going to actually take them. I'm going to move them north to Larissa, where they can provide air coverage to everything in Greece. Because once Yugoslavia falls, Greece would probably be feeling some air power. And just having that protection, more than the anti-air upgrades we've already done for the units, would be particularly helpful. Looking at Libya, we do have enough supply to actually get a couple things done on some of these units. So we're going to do that before prioritizing the march to Tripoli. We're going to get the Special Forces of Rhodesia up to max. We're going to get this Desert Anti-Tank up to max. We can even go ahead and reinforce the tank up at the front up to max. I'm going to do that. Again, I think that's going to be very, very important. So we're going to take this recon and we're just going to march it all the way to the border with Vichy so that we completely surround the port. We ensure that they have no way to actually receive supplies. I don't know if they can receive supplies from a neutral Vichy country, but the loss of connections to the road, I'm hoping, will be crucial enough in assisting what we're doing. The WDF army here can go ahead and move forward with their trucks. Yeah, the mobility is invaluable here, man. Invaluable. The artillery can move up as far as it can get, so I'm going to prioritize that over the corps. The corps is just going to move up behind everything else. We could go ahead and upgrade as well. This is just long-range aircraft, so I'm not sure. The elite reinforcements for this plane might actually be better. It's expensive, but if we get that, we might be able to attack bomb more out of this town, regardless of what upgrades they might have. So the long range doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and get that elite reinforcement. That could come in handy. We are still sitting on this town. I think I'm just going to stay sitting on this town. I certainly hope supplies will be able to make it out here. Otherwise, this port recon is in supply right now, so that's a good sign anyway of what we will be capable of going forward. Tripoli pretty much guaranteed to fall. We're going to have a lot of British troops here that could go somewhere else once this is done. It's going to be really hard, though, to actually get them, like, let's say to France. So I'm still looking at Greece as a potential deployment zone for them. So I'll probably leave that in for comedic effect. I just heard a gigantic thunder strike, and so I just restarted the recording just so I don't lose everything I just recorded. Further in Africa, I will go ahead and take the Sudan Defense Force Corps. They're just going to continue beating on the Massawa garrison here. Another 4 dead. We just can't get that last one, but at the very least, they keep reinforcing it. That's got to hurt their MPPs a little bit because they're prioritizing that. They don't want to lose the capital of Italian East Africa. With that, I have 188 MPP remaining as the UK. I think it's safe to say I'm not going to be doing any research this turn because I got ASW capabilities now. I unlocked so much. The group down here in South Africa getting ready to march on Ethiopia, they're going to have some problems with making sure they get all up to snuff. You know, we still have everything over here. UK is very stretched thin right now. We have a whole engagement we have to do. So I'm going to have to make some sacrifices, as if I haven't been doing that already. I've been having to do that quite a lot, actually. I'm going to make some extra sacrifices. I'll think about that while I edit this episode, because we're going to go ahead and end this one here. Pick this up where we left off on the next one. With Barbarossa about to start, I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you think it's going to go, based on the fact that Yugoslavia is not, like, plummeting as fast as I thought it would, and that Greece is actually doing great against the Italians. But, you know, what a surprise. Barbarossa should be starting in June, historically. Let me know what you think's going to happen. For now, though, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.